We have a pretty unique relationship with games as a form of media created for consumption, because unlike other forms of media, games are a playground for self-expression and self-reflection. Not only can we, the gamers, create things within games that allow us to express ourselves, but how we react to or interact with games can cause us to think about who we are and the world around us. What's truly wonderful, though, is that the act of creating games itself is something that allows both sides of the creative coin. People who make games are in a position that allows them to both express and reflect on themselves, all while creating a space for countless people around the world to engage with this unique piece of media that contains a bit of themselves. And those people then take that game to heart and reflect in turn. I think that's why there are so many games about so many personal topics. Relationships, work, money, anxiety, depression, disease, anything that you can think of, there's a game about it. There are games about everything to every degree of importance to their creators. And that's why T-Dog Extreme's Symposium of Grief has had such a strong grip on my attention lately. It's a cute game about a sad ghost with a broken heart after a bad breakup who goes on a journey to find the other half of their heart. Along the way, you meet Ghost's friends, a wide variety of characters of all shapes and sizes who all care for Ghost to varying degrees and who all present that in different ways. It's very easy to see what this game's about when you're looking at it. When you're playing, it's easy to read between the lines and translate the euphemisms and understand what exactly Symposium is about. It's even structured into chapters named after the 5 stages of grief, and Ghost's emotions follow the same arc on their path to recovery, self-discovery, and growth. And that is good. That is so good. Symposium is so unafraid to be the story of heartache and finding oneself that it is, that the writing is able to focus on the things a sad story about a sad person needs the most: charm, relatability, and humor. In my emails with T-Dog, I was surprised to learn that this direction wasn't so much intentional as it was a result of how they built Ghost as a character and their own views of humor's relationship with accessibility. They told me that they feel a majority of media that observes grief and sadness and introspection are doing so in these nihilistic, sad, and vengeful ways that are a mix of exhausting and hard to relate to. In their own words, they didn't set out to destroy all these narrative tropes. The comedic angle the writing takes was instead formed from their desire to make a character that goes through a bunch of garbage, realizes they're wrong or changes their view on something, and then grows, all in a relatable and accessible way. It just so happens that comedy ended up being the best vehicle for something so relatable, and T-Dog's funny as hell. There's so much about this game that I'm a fan of. The characters, the quest steps, the dialogue, the music, the tone. I could go on and on and on, but I don't want to be here for 14 hours. There's going to be more detail about Symposium's direction and the reasoning behind it in my interview with T-Dog. That should be up in a day or two after this video goes live. I do want to note here that Symposium isn't a perfect game. It has a handful of weird, annoying glitches, and a couple parts in the narrative where what you need to do to progress is pretty unclear, but if you can look past stuff like that, you're gonna find a reflective, relatable story that's worth a playthrough for pretty much anyone who's been through any kind of heartache in their life, whether it's a relationship or the loss of a loved one, or just general shit that's hard to deal with. I am thankful for Symposium. I'm thankful that there's this silly game about something so universal being handled in a way that isn't so serious. Comedy is a fantastic motivator, and it's used so damn well in this little game about a sad ghost and amazing friends. Despite this game's numerous weird little glitches and directional roadblocks, it constantly stays charming and funny enough to push you forward. It's important to have media that looks at the harder parts of life, and it's important that that media isn't weighed down by weird messaging or overwhelming nihilism. And Symposium of Grief is a game that does that exceptionally well. You can pick it up on itch.io for the fantastic price of $3, and it's less than 4 hours long, so if you're looking for an interesting, charming, and relatable observation of how we handle breakups and other sad shit, you should check this one out. Hey, thanks for listening to me ramble about Symposium of Grief. I'd like to give a quick shout out and thank you to my Patreon supporters that help keep this boat afloat. Thanks to David Snotter, Mark B. Writing, Puking Goombas, Steve Z, and Storm Hughes. Without you, this would be harder to do. If you'd like to support Indie and everything we do, head on over to patreon.com/IndieBytesYT to see how you can do the thing. Go take a look. I'm not gonna re-record that because it's hot in here and I'm tired. That's all I got. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.